So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young, back to throw. In trouble. He's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, gets back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He dies. Touchdown, 49ers.
11's 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Gets on third down. He'll take it himself for first down. Alex Smith is in. Touchdown.
His left hip. Third down. Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in the post. And it's good. Touchdown. Touchdown 49. It is second down. Ryan takes the snap. Goes to slant to the left side. It's Michael. Intercepted. The 49ers pick it. And Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
Kaepernick gets it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Yeah. Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back. And we're here to bring you guys another fun-filled episode. Guys, the official start of the offseason. Our first show since the Super Bowl has ended, and I can't wait to get to it. Guys. Familiar face up in the place. Let's start with my man, Nick. What's going on, Nick? They're throwing panties at the screen. It's big as Nick.
What is going on, guys? What's going on, man?
What's good, fam? Welcome back from Tahiti, Siberia,
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Backing up Cardi B in Vegas.
Oh, that's right. I did say that you had a.
Yo,
Nick was dropping it like it was hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Cardi B definitely dropped it like it was hot, but that's beside the point. Nah, seriously though, man. Appreciate you guys holding us down over here, man, and had some shit to deal with, and appreciate all the love and support that I got from everybody, and moving on, man. We're trying to get back on top here, so appreciate everybody, and glad to be back.
Well, that's the check-in from the right. Let me go down below to my man Brian, Stater Niner. What's going on, man? How you feeling down there, bro?
I'm good. What's up? I'm ready to start this new season.
Yeah, man. Now, let me tell you, I thought your background this time was a baseball diamond for some reason, and I see that it is not even close to a baseball diamond, but I don't know why that's what I saw. I can't figure out why I thought that at all, but I like it now that I can tell what it is.
I was trying to get all of Nick's journeys into one background.
Oh, I see. See, people didn't even get a chance to hear what the new one was. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool.
Right.
It's cool. You know, Breezy. Down there. What's going on, big dog? What's up?
I'm chilling, man. You know what time it is. It's 49ers time, man. It's time to get these rumors out of the way and get cracking, man. Let's get us a quarterback and let's get this season started.
All right.
I like it. Did I start the
like
show off with that? My bad.
No, you good, man. Look, we got some obligatory photos to show and everything. We're going to keep that hope alive until it's dead. But before we do any of that, guys, we have to jump into these formalities. So first and foremost, make sure you guys have those notifications turned on. Hit that like and subscribe button. If this is your first time here on the YouTube page, I can't stress it enough. Turn on those notifications. When the free agency frenzy starts happening, this is the place to be when the news breaks. I promise you guys are going to want to be locked in, okay? So make sure you guys do yourselves that favor. Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We have Twitter and Snapchat. Those handles are nothing but 9. That's the number 9, nothing but 9, ERS. We also have Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitch, and that is nothing but Niner, spelled all the way out, spaces in between, no numbers in there anywhere, okay? And last but certainly not least, I am your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL. And guys, it is time to talk some 49ers football. All right. Now, there have been no new news. No new news. I said that right. Okay. There's no new news since the last time we did a show, but we got to talk about the Super Bowl, guys. The Super Bowl is over. We do. Brian, what's up, man? You were showing some resentment towards this conversation in the group chat. Like, what's up with you, man? You don't like the Super
We
Bowl?
went off the air the last time I saw you. What did I say?
I know I said Tampa was going to win. I know that.
You said, what do you mean you're not going to watch the Super Bowl? I said, I don't need to see Tom Brady win another championship. And you said, what?
I don't
That ain't going to happen.
Oh, I thought the Chiefs were going to win.
But yeah, so I didn't even watch the game. I've watched everything that's unfolded aftermath. I'm not even going to watch that game.
Are you serious? I can't not watch the biggest game of the year. Nick, you were in, last I heard you were in Tahiti. Did they have cable in Tahiti? Were you able to see the game?
Bro, I seen Patrick Mahomes throwing from his side angles, like laying out. But man, that game, I don't know, man. That game, I didn't want either one of them to win, to be honest with you. But obviously, you got to have a winner. But man, Tom Brady does it again. The dude is the GOAT. I gotta give it to him. He's the GOAT of this era. He's definitely, my man's got more championship rings and Super Bowl rings than the entire franchises do. So, you can't take that away from him. You can't take that away from him. There's no more throwing that meme up of Joe Montana. Like, there's no meme because that motherfucker like this.
It's funny because they still try to say, well, Montana won 4 in a row. Montana went undefeated. I'm like,
I still think Montana was a better quarterback, but that's due to the era he played in. I'm just not quite sure Brady would have had the same success if they were allowed to be as physical. But you still can't take anything away from Tom Brady. Winning 7 championships in any sport that's a team sport is a hell of an accomplishment. It's harder if it's a team sport. You look at the accomplishments of Venus and Serena Williams, right? And that's like a one-on-one. You control your entire destiny from start to finish. Right. And in the game of football, the discipline it takes to do that with 22 people. You realize that we've seen playoff games where a team scored over 40 points and lost? Like, you could be the greatest quarterback of all time, but if that whole team isn't clicking, man, it's tough. And so for Tom Brady to go out there and get that, that 7th ring at this age, man, it's pretty freaking impressive.
Bro, not only that, man, it was a total team effort. It wasn't even like Tampa Bay. Nobody could imagine going in, playing Kansas City's high-powered offense and holding them to 0 touchdowns. Like, the defense was just playing lights out. Obviously, there were a lot of calls, penalties that weren't called last year in Super Bowls, but I'm not going to get into all that nonsense. These teams went out there and played, and the best part of it was when Antoine Winfield Jr. gave the peace sign to
Tyreek
Hill, and rubbed it in his face. Like, that dude, he's like, hey, that dude, did backflips in front of me, in front of my face, and gave me the peace sign last time, so he deserved it. And these guys played you see, if you watch the game, I just watched NFL Network for the first time in a while. And Tyreek Hill and somebody else was on there and we're out here beast mode, showing their abs and shit, right? He's like, we're out here beast mode. Ain't nobody can beat us. We're the best team around, blah, blah, blah. Dude, y'all got your asses wiped, clean. And they didn't even use wipes. Bro, they got you with some non-Charmin toilet paper. But I'm just happy for the entire Tampa Bay organization. I have a lot of friends that are Tampa Bay fans, obviously living in Tampa Bay for 8 years. It was a huge success for that organization. And, last year, look, you can't take it away from them. Last year, they were a great defense. They had Jameis Winston throwing for the 40-40, right? 40-40 club. So Jameis Winston is what held them back. They got a quarterback that was legitimately able to throw the football around, and he didn't make mistakes. So congrats to them, man.
Yeah, like I said before, I thought it was very boring on paper because as soon as Brady went there to Tampa, everyone was like, oh, it's going to be Brady and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And it just seemed like it was just too easy of a storyline. I really wish we were healthy because I think we would have smacked the Bucs if we were a healthy team in the postseason. But that's neither here nor there. I can't prove any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I enjoyed the game because I really, really wanted to see KC lose. I didn't think that the Bucs were going to be able to outscore them. And to see them stay after the way that they did, I really, really loved it. I really loved it. Now, look at our first contribution of the night, guys. Now, this person, Master Sith, That sounds inappropriate. He says this bad KC loss
Star Wars
shows
character.
Shanahan's fault, a choker. Let's talk about this, man. So this is actually a pretty good segue to what I wanted to talk about concerning the Super Bowl and the 49ers. When you watch this game, what do you think John and Kyle's biggest takeaway was? What, like, they watched the same team that they lost to get demolished, right? What do you think their biggest takeaway was from this game? Like, damn, if only we had
Continue to run the football.
Bill Vinovich hates us.
No, seriously. If they would have look, I posted a tweet and there was like 11 minutes left in the game or something, and Kansas City was still running the football. And then I wrote, Kyle, are you watching? Like, this is what you do when you have a lead or whatever. You control the clock, control the ball, do these things. And somebody had tweeted
Tampa. You meant Tampa. Tampa had the lead. He meant.
Yeah, Tampa had the lead. Tampa had the lead, controlled the clock, things like that. And somebody tweeted back to me and said, did you watch our game? Because we couldn't run the ball. Our highest rusher had 57 yards, which was Raheem Mostert, which he was right on that part. But he also didn't realize that we were averaging. I said, we had 144 total yards rushing, or 141 total yards rushing on 22 attempts at 6.4 yards per carry. We were running the football. And that is my biggest takeaway from that game. Now, obviously, they controlled the clock running. They were running, and then somebody comes back and says, was it you that came back and said about running in between tackles?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say, and then look, they threw a bomb. Because right after you tweeted that, on 3rd and 5, Brady went for the gusto. Like, he went for the kill right there.
Right. Yep. But then somebody tweeted at me and said, well, it was Silverado Kev. He's like, the only difference is the Niners couldn't run the ball in between tackles, and once you shut down the zone read, you have nothing. But the thing is the zone read and the tackle running was working. We just completely went away from it. We just completely went away from the run game completely. I mean, there was 2 possessions where Jimmy Garoppolo came out, threw the ball 3 times, back to back to back, and then we were punting the ball. And they come back out, we throw the football again 3 times. We didn't even try to run anything.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. I think that was my biggest takeaway from it. And the Chiefs have been ran on all year long. And we're not talking about some stud that was running on them the other night either. I mean, Leonard Fournette, yeah, he had a great game. But if you look back, he's not what he used to be.
I think Jones had a better – I thought – was it Jones? Was that the other back?
Nah, Fournette definitely had the better game, yo.
Yeah.
No,
but they did. He did. I mean, it even showed it in the stats.
No, I'm not talking about stats. I'm talking about effectiveness per carry.
I'm talking about effectiveness.
The other guy had a better. Who was it? What was his name?
Ronald Jones.
Yeah,
Ronald Jones. Well,
I don't know what the stat line is. I never looked at the stat line. I just felt like every time they gave it to Jones, he was going crazy. Now Fournette did end up breaking one because I know early on Fournette reminded me of Henry. When Henry, like, he takes a while to get going. You just got to let him keep pounding, and eventually he busted open. That's what Fournette made me think of.
He's a bigger running back. Yeah.
It was a good game, but so Nick says, all right, if you're John Lynch and you're Kyle Shanahan, you're sitting there and you're watching the game, you're saying, damn, run game. All right, Brian, you didn't see it, so I guess you can't answer this. But Wayne, if you're watching this game, what do you think our GM and our head coach's biggest takeaway is?
We need better safeties. They need better safeties. They shut Mahomes. They did not allow the big throw. And then when they did the underneath stuff, they made sure they wrapped and tackled. Well, our safeties let up a 3rd and 15. They gave away a 3rd and 15. A throw that was a breakdown play, and their secondary was just better than our secondary. I'm just going to say it like it is. So I feel like the secondary, unfortunately, is something we're going to need to figure out going into the Super Bowl. The pass rush was there. I thought we had a pass rush last season, but unfortunately, it didn't hit home, and that big play happened. You didn't see a big play happen in this game. They took away them safeties played 25 yards off the ball the whole game, and then they made sure they were in on the tackles on the underneath routes. That was phenomenal defense. And that's why Kansas City couldn't score.
I agree with everything you guys are saying so far, but I think John Lynch in particular says, damn, I got to get another pass rusher on that defensive line. I really, really think that because there were open guys downfield, but Pat just didn't have time to see it. I can't tell you how many times I saw Patrick Mahomes with his back to the line of scrimmage because he was just running for his life, spinning and junking and jiving and twisting and turning. That defensive line up the middle from the edges and every which way, they kept that man. He was in the blender.
They pressured him the whole game, Mike.
Yeah. He was just
pressured the whole game.
It was insane watching that happen. And I'm like, that's how you do it. Because those receivers were getting open downfield. Pat just couldn't get the ball there. And then a couple of times he did get it there. There was one that bounced off the face mask. There was one that went through a couple of hands. Like he got the ball down there a couple of times, but the plays just weren't being made because the players were flustered.
You guys may laugh at me about this, but I don't remember if I said it on a show or if we just had it in conversation. But this game made me even more aware of how much Patrick Mahomes is a one-read quarterback. And the reason I say this, if you go back and you watch all his games, all his big plays are on his first receiver that he looks at, and they beat him with speed. If you look and you take the game where he's scrambling like he was the other night, you can blame it on the turf toe. You can blame it on whatever you want. But if you go back and you watch this tape and he gets scrambling, the reason that he gets so many connections with receivers is because, A, the speed, and the pass rush wasn't getting there. You put a legitimate pass rush on him to where that first guy is not open and he's scrambling around. Yeah, he made some crazy throws. He made some crazy throws as in, damn near laying out and getting rid of the football and it hitting receivers. Now, this isn't taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes and his accuracy and things like that. But if you watch him and you watch that tape, my man was scrambling around under pressure and couldn't do anything. Now, the pressure helps with it, obviously. But if you go back and watch all these film on Patrick Mahomes, most of his big plays are to his first receiver. And if it's not to his first receiver, it's after he scrambles all around and just runs all around in circles until the receivers get open, obviously, with their speed. So, but that made just watching him in that game showed more of that to me. And you know what? I think Eric Crocker was actually talking about it before as well. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's who I was talking to with it about on it. But that, Mike, you're 100% right. This defense rushed 4. They didn't blitz. Man. They didn't blitz. They did the same type of thing as the Niners did. The difference is also their linebackers are fast there. Now we have some fast linebackers, but they got some speed there too. And Devin White is no slouch. He played a hell of a game on Kelsey.
Bump Devin White. David was the man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like it was ridiculous. And I like Devin White. I really did. I wanted to draft him, but unfortunately we had other needs. But yes, Nick, the speed was amazing. It was immaculate, and all their linebackers were just flying all over the field. And this is what I'm saying. When the Bucs started giving up the underneath routes, I'm like, oh, here we go. It's KC time. They about to start chewing up these yards. Patrick Mahomes drove down the field, kicked the field goal. Right? The Chiefs are the worst team in the red zone. They were one of the worst teams in the red zone this year. Believe it or not.
No, it makes sense because that speed gets neutralized.
It gets neutralized.
There's nowhere for you to go now.
The Tampa Bay figured out. Shout out to Todd Bowles. Yeah. Come on, man. This guy figured out. Hey guys, and now look. Last season wasn't that our MO? Hey. If you give it the big play, just don't let them score because when they get in the red zone, they don't have speed anymore. Hey, that rhymes. Tampa Bay used that, figured it out, allowed them to get to the red zone. I'm talking 4 or 5 yard line twice. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't get in. They couldn't get in. So I'm not going to say Tampa has the blueprint, but I love the fact that their linebackers were flying all over the field. And you already know that that's one of San Francisco's strongest points. The linebacker. When we get that third guy in there, if it's going to be Aziz or whoever that third guy is going to be, that's what we're missing in that linebacker core because I think our 2 linebackers are going to be pretty darn fine.
Yeah, I watched a couple of Tampa games this year because I couldn't wait to hate on them. And I will be honest with you, Todd Bowles and and their offensive coordinator, or you can, say that
Byron Leftwich.
Bruce. Yeah, I don't know if you can credit who with it, Bruce Arians or Leftwich, but they came in with a completely different game of attack from everything they did all year long. And it you know what it felt like to me was, guys, this is it. We're going balls to the wall here. Forget what we do well. We're going to change it all up and hit them with something they've never seen before. And if it works, it works. And that, to me, that's what it felt like they did. Bro, I never saw like the way they moved and maneuvered those safeties out there. There were 3 safeties on the field at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were doing shit that was just like unheard of. Look, all right, where's Hill? You are in the middle of the field, but you're shadowing Hill. Make sure he doesn't get behind. Like they were just doing stuff that they had never done all year. You can't prepare for something like that.
They had 2 on Kelsey, 2 on Hill the entire game.
Yep.
They weren't getting beat deep.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't getting beat deep, and they were rocking the crap out of Kelsey. They flustered Travis Kelsey so bad he was dropping passes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't take away from the offensive line play from Tampa either, because they played immaculate. I mean, look, to do what they did to, obviously Kansas City has a half decent pass rush, right? I'm not going to go against them and say that they have a shitty pass rush, because they don't. But it felt really good to see Chris Jones pretty much neutralized, smacked in the face, and crying to go home, and crying about penalties. It just felt so good. But the offensive line play, and that's something else that maybe John Lynch was looking at, because our offensive line did not play well in the Super Bowl. We know that. So
see, I felt like they did play well for 3 quarters. And then, I mean, they played well enough for us to get a lead. And then that 4th quarter, maybe they just got gassed. Or the 4th quarter, maybe Kansas City just had more of rotation, because it seemed like their defensive line had way more energy than ours. That's what it looked like, because they were able to block passes down. They didn't do that for 3 quarters. And all of a sudden they're able to do that. It was weird, man. So I'm agreeing with you, Nick. I think we better improve on the offensive line.
Yeah. And so it's very, very interesting to look at it all. Callie, sorry I skipped your contribution. I must have missed it, man. And last year's Super Bowl, Wilson Jr. had 1 catch for 20 yards. Yet Kyle went with Coleman, who suffered a separated shoulder for Green Bay in the NFC Championship. These are my guys, and I want them to be good. It reminded me of when I watched this past Super Bowl, and I looked and I reflected on the 49ers Super Bowl. I got similar feelings to when the Seahawks were driving down against the Patriots, and everyone knew that all you got to do is hand the ball off to Marshawn, and they didn't do it. Right? It was like, we are gonna make Russell Wilson be the Super Bowl MVP. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, and now if it worked, you look like a genius. If it didn't work, you look silly. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, there's 2 sides to the coin, but I just felt like sometimes the teams outsmarted themselves, and the Niners, we felt like we did that. We knew that when we played them, they didn't have the best run defense, yet we got away from the run, like what Nick was saying. You know what I mean? So it was all very, very, it was eerily similar to that. Like, you have guys that are doing good, and we went to other guys out of nowhere. I didn't even think. I remember going into that game, I didn't think Coleman was going to play at all,
right,
because of how bad that injury was and everything. And then, there he was. So, it was a lot of stuff going on. And shout out to everybody else. Joe P had a contribution. Somebody was giving you some love, Nick. Where'd it go?
Was it
Mike, while you're
looking
for that real quick, what's up, LaDavid? The numbers were fairly similar with Fournette and Ronald Jones. So Fournette had 16 carries for 89 yards, averaged 5.6 yards per carry with a touchdown. Ronald Jones had 12 carries for 61 yards and averaged 5.1. So They were right there with each other.
I think the difference is, can you see who had the long run? I think Fournette had the big run, and that's what boosted his average. I think that's probably why I felt like Jones was just a more consistent guy. I don't know who had a longer run of what, but I felt like there was a big run for Fournette at one point.
Fournette had the big run for the touchdown. Like, he had that long run. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's probably why I felt.
Yeah, right when they came back from the half, he had that 20-yard or 23-yard run for the touchdown, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yo, would we ever thought that Antonio Brown would have a championship ring though?
Yeah, but he should have got one when they were with when he was with
New
Pittsburgh.
England.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying with everything that went on and him being out of the league.
I told y'all that boy was gonna come back and ball.
And coming back and
I told y'all.
And then I mean, look at these guys. There's a couple guys on there that I'm happy to see get a ring. I'm happy for Mike Evans, obviously. The kid's been through hell with some shitty quarterbacks. He's a great receiver. Leonard Fournette, obviously, he's played a hell of a career. More so in Jacksonville. But there are a lot of guys on that team that deserve a ring, that play their ass off no matter what it is and what the consequences are. They're always out there. And but yeah, shout out to the Bucs, man. If Tom Brady wasn't the quarterback, I'd probably be more happy for him, even happier for them. But I'm still happy for him, man.
Can I ask you guys a question? And this is going to lead us to our next subject. And the point of the show. First, let's get this comment here. Let's get this one here from Sean. He says, Nick, so glad you are back. Nick and I are exactly the same except different. I enjoyed Mahomes getting hit. My bad. They are now called the KC Squaws. Squaw. That's from well, when I think of squaw, I think of what was that cartoon? Peter Pan. That's what I think of when I see squaw. Thank you for the contribution, Sean, man. We really appreciate it. And there was another one. I don't see it.
Did you just sing Inspector Gadget?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about that. Bradley Pinion got a ring, too.
He was horrible, too, in the Super Bowl.
He's always been horrible. I mean,
yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And I'm not hating on him, but his punts were horrible. Like, they were horrible. All backspin. They kept punting, giving Tom Brady worst field position. I'm like, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a comment here. Brian, take this one here, Brian. Let's do this.
From Mark Espinoza. Yo, Mike. Can y'all talk about the impact that Vita Vea had on the team and how we are missing that player to plug in the middle?
I think that we have that player when he's healthy in DJ Jones. DJ Jones is a good pass rusher and run stuffer. He's gotta stay healthy. That's kind of what our Achilles heel was this year. It wasn't the players or the talent; it was the availability.
Yeah,
that was just across the board. I think Vita Vea he did look good this game, though. What do you think, guys?
He is a free agent, DJ Jones. So we're still kind of missing that hole.
Yeah, Vita Vea's been looking good all season, guys. So it was only right that he was going to dominate a weak-ass offensive line. Like, let's keep it a buck. It's not like Kansas City offensive line was full intact. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that was an excuse, and I'm not saying that's a cheap shot on Vita, but he's been dominant his career, man. He just showed up and balled out. That whole defensive line, JPP, he got another ring. Like they balled out. You know what I'm saying? And they were just they had depth. Like their depth was healthy. They were able to rotate guys in and out. That's what the 49ers were trying to do. I keep saying if D Ford was at least 85% healthy in that Super Bowl, there's no way we lose that game. There's no way. This dude was playing on like 45%, maybe even not even that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
and we also got, like what you were saying though, Breezy, you're absolutely right. I don't want you to get too far away from the point. Their offensive line was beat the hell up. They were playing with 2 backup tackles.
Yeah. In
that game. So what does that mean? That means now you have to use a tight end to help them, or you're sending the guards that way to help them. So Vita Vea in the middle gets to go crazy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like all that stuff makes a difference. All that stuff matters in the grand scheme of things. And we weren't afforded that same type of luxury of having them have that completely diminished offensive line, So what I wanted to transition to though, here Tom Huxley says, do you agree with what Debo said about the injuries?
I don't remember what he said.
Basically, Debo was saying that the NFL was lucky we were this injured this year, but we'll be back next year.
I mean, absolutely, I believe it. I mean, you should believe it with this team. This team was going to play with a vengeance, man, and they knew, when COVID came out and shut kind of like the league down, I don't think those players were able to get their bodies right, coming off from the Super Bowl. And I think that had this team just been healthier at certain positions, not everybody, but just certain key positions. Even Debo couldn't get right. You know what I'm saying? He started off the season injured, comes back, plays, balls out, gets injured, comes back, out for the season. Like Brandon Ayuk, the rookie, didn't even start this season. Like we thought he was going to be. He looked like he's going to be a phenom, right? I mean, I'm not chalking it up and saying we suck just because of injuries, but I mean, come on, let's keep it a buck. If our offensive line was healthy, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't have got hurt. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo would have been playing better, without an injury. Maybe George Kittle wouldn't have got hurt and Jimmy wouldn't have threw that high pass. That guy who knows? We don't know. But I do know that a 49ers healthy team is a mother-freaking dangerous team. I do know that.
Yeah, and throughout the entire postseason, I didn't see an NFC playoff team that I think would have been able to beat us. I'll be honest with you guys. I watched every single postseason game, and I swear on everything that if we were healthy, I think we walk right back to the Super Bowl. I'm not joking at all.
And heading into 2021, health isn't our problem.
It's free agents.
It's free agents. I mean, this team isn't going to be the same as it was last year or in 2019 or 2020. The team is going to be different. So it's not just injuries. How good are the Niners going to be next year with as many free agents as we have?
I will say, Nick, a lot of those free agents are injured. So,
well, right, but that's what I'm saying. So a lot of those free agents that were injured, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jaquiski Tart.
Jimmy's not a free agent though.
No. But I'm saying is a lot of those players that were hurt, are coming up to be free agents, and the team's going to still look the same. And where were we last year? So that's where it's going to get me. Is this is really going to? Now I just saw a thing the other night. The 49ers actually aren't in the worst shape that we think they are. I think they're right now 14th in salary cap.
I saw that, Nick.
Yeah,
even with the new additions, they're sitting at about just shy of 19 million right now, with the cap being estimated at 180,500,000.
Right. So this is where this year is the year that we're really going to see if players want to be here. 1, 2, how Parag Marate does contracts, and how they can get players that they really want to come back.
Yeah. And that's going to take us to our segment for today's show. With this being the official kickoff to the offseason, the first thing that happens is free agency. It's not the draft, it's free agency. Now, we did a whole series where we broke down every single free agent that the 49ers are going to have. But now let's talk grand scheme of things. And you guys can include 49er players in this if you'd like. But if you had it your way, one fantasy player that is out there in free agency on our team, from another team. Now, we understand that some of these guys are going to get re-signed to their team. But as of this moment, right now, these guys are free agents, okay? Who would you guys go out there and get? We're going to read this contribution here from Mark really quick, and then we're going to get back to the meat and potatoes of the show. But what I want to ask you guys, though, because I'm looking at this list here, is Juice a free agent now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Why did I think he had another year? Was it an option year that
they gave him his option year this past year? So now he's actually a free agent.
Yeah, the list I was looking at had Juice on there, and I was like, why did I think he had one more? So then what the hell? All right. Mark Espinoza, thanks for the contribution. He says, I know we need a cornerback, but with only one good season and one healthy season on his contract year, I'm not impressed. I wouldn't bring back Jason Verrett. What y'all think?
I'm bringing Jason Verrett back.
I mean, it's a no-brainer you bring him back. And
Absolutely.
you only need one healthy season on film to be impressed. Like that's all you need. You saw exactly what he was able to do healthy, so you bring him back. And I think we'll be able to bring him back, and I think we'll probably get him for like, between 7 and 9 million. So I don't think he's even going to cost a lot, and I don't think I'm not saying that other teams won't make him higher offers. That's the only thing the 49ers can't control. But you got to hope, like Nick said, that some of these players you're going to see. You want to win here, you'll be back. Now, if players want to win a championship, obviously they're not going to go to the team that's going to offer them the most money because those teams are probably going to be rebuilding and doing whatever. But I think he comes back, and I think you bring him back. It's a no-brainer, man. You get one guy, then you can focus on the draft, get another guy, maybe get some key free agents or whatever, on the cheap. You got to bring him back.
Yeah, I agree 100% because I think that, obviously, well, at least from my standpoint, I don't want Richard Sherman back. And I don't think that given the status of Witherspoon in the doghouse, I don't think he's an option to come back. And so I think that they need to bring at least one starter back from last year. And so with the season that he had, I think that I would invest in that.
Mark, what weren't you impressed with Jason Verrett? He was the best corner I have seen on this team in a really, really long time. Like a really, really long time.
I love it too. Mike's eating crow too, because when Jason Verrett was first here, you're like, get rid of him, get rid of him. I love it.
Right. Whoa! I was right.
He couldn't play.
Stay healthy. No, that's what I'm saying.
Why I said the same thing at the beginning, right?
No, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm saying that it's good to see that what our thoughts were. Like when I was on DeMontre Moore, and I said he's just a camp body, but he came in and he proved what he was. And then Jason Verrett got healthy and proved what he was, right. And he was the best corner on the field this year.
Yeah.
On the team.
Yeah. Well, my issue was why are we bringing in a guy that we know can't stay healthy? And then his first year, he's not healthy. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what bothered me. Is this was Jason Verrett's second or third season with us?
This was his second season, right?
No.
Because he got injured in like preseason or some shit, right?
Right.
And then he got injured in preseason. He didn't do anything. They put him in the Steelers game and then pulled his ass right back out.
So this was his third season, but they offered him a 1-year deal.
Okay. All right. All right.
No, it's his second because he signed. He didn't start for a while. Then we activated him. Then he got re-injured, and then he finished that year out. That was his first year. Then last year he came back. He was healthy. Then he got a hamstring injury, and then came back and then played throughout.
All right.
So you're saying the first season was the season he came in on the Steelers game?
Yes.
I think so.
And then that was the only time he played in that first year. And then he was out with injury for the rest of the year and went on the IR.
Gotcha. So we signed him in the offseason. He got healthy, came in the Steelers game and sucked. Gotcha. Got hurt again.
Yeah, absolutely. Vince, he says, guys, crazy question. If they franchise Juice, do they franchise at a running back or fullback? If franchise as a fullback, I think it would be a low salary. Yes, that is all absolutely true. That is 100% true. Oh, shit. I think I've said that before. So I did know that Juice was a free agent. Because the franchise tag for the fullback is very, very cheap, especially in comparison to what Juice was getting these last couple of seasons. So
it's like Juice will be back if we use the tag on him.
Yeah, good question there, Vince. Thanks for
Can we use the tag on him though?
Yeah, why can't we?
The only person we can't tag is Trent Williams.
Absolutely.
No clause, no tag clause in his contract.
I thought you still had to have like an option or something like that to be tagged.
No, because Dak can be tagged this year by the Cowboys, and he doesn't have anything. He's done.
Right.
He's done. All right, so let's talk about this free agency list, guys. And there is a lot of free agents, man. Let me tell you, I clicked this list and I was like, holy smokes! Like, there's a lot of. I had to go back and check, like, make sure I didn't click on 2022 because Juice threw me off that much. There are a lot of. No, I won't say what I was going to say. There's a lot of people on this list. So let's try to figure out who it is that's going to who our fantasy guy is. The only thing I want us to do is not repeat any names. If there's one free agent out there that you guys want to bring back, who would it be? So I don't know who wants to go first. I will go last. I don't mind doing that. But if somebody wants to go first, feel free to jump in here and let's have some fun with it.
Wayne, you can start. I know you're on a short leash tonight.
You said me?
Well, you said you were going to get.
What you playing, Breezy? I didn't ask you, man. What you doing tonight?
I'm working on my player, dog. I got to get this guy up to a 99. All right, so
Nick, man, since the season's been over, every show that Breezy's been on, he's playing something. He's playing Madden, he's playing basketball. He's doing something. He's doing something every game. So I got to get the updates from him. I need score updates and stuff. And
so I got my guy, yo. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer, man. You talked about a pass rush earlier on the show. Mike said we need to get another, or Nick said we need to get another pass rusher. You know, I don't think D4 is playing this season. And if I can get a guy and I can afford this guy, I'm going to go for this guy. I'm going to tell Shaquille Barrett to bring your sorry tail over to San Francisco and pair up on the speed side with my man Nick Bosa and just watch those guys have a mother freaking field day. Now, this will be his third team, but I think he'll be fine, right? Because he started in Denver, went to Tampa, now he's here. He'll be in San Francisco. Yeah, I think I'll go with Shaquille Barrett, man. That no brainer.
Wow. And there's some interesting edge guys out here. Let me just throw a couple of names at you guys too, man. Like there's
nobody better than Shaquille Barrett on that list.
Yannick Ngakoue is out there.
Nobody better than Shaquille Barrett on that list.
Alvin Smith is out there.
Nobody better than Shaquille Barrett on that list.
Everson Griffin's out there.
I'm about to smack Mike if you say one more name. Ain't nobody beeder than Shaquille.
Jeremiah Atauchu is out there, bro. What?
There's nobody.
He's got that shirt. Nick. Been here, done that.
No, I was just gonna say, remember Atachu?
Yeah.
Like I can remember doing the breaking news when he signed with us.
Mm-hmm. Justin Houston is out there. Ja'Kai Polite, Vic Beasley. There's some names. And now I might be agreeing with you though so far, bro. I'm trying to find.
I just waited for you to. You didn't say Jadeveon Clowney.
I don't. Ryan Kerrigan's a free agent.
He still didn't say Jadeveon Clowney. Why do y'all hate Clowney so much, man? You get him in this. You know the 49ers can get people healthy. You know what I'm saying?
I think he doesn't have the mentality that Lynch and Chicago are looking for.
We don't know what mentality he got. He played for shitty teams. When you come into this, you walk in to this stadium. You walk in through that locker room. You walk into a different mindset. Shit, we've been on the tour. Our mindset changed, right? Like we walk in, we be like, oh shoot, yo, chuck it at the door. Let's go. We about to ball out. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Bill Walsh. Like I'm telling you, the mentality's changed, guys. I don't want Jadeveon Clowney.
I don't want to change things up here, but I think we should do a fantasy guy, and then let's turn it to a realistic guy that we think would be that guy.
Well, that's what the thing is. So the topic is going to be, our fantasy guy, and then we're going to talk about whether or not they're a realistic option for the Niners. That's what the thing is.
Well, Shaquille Barrett's not realistic, duh. But you said
so?
No, he's not going to be a realistic. We don't have the money to pay Trent Williams. Talk about signing Shaquille Barrett. Now, look, I just don't think it'll be a realistic option. I'm not saying that the 49ers won't look into it, but that guy's going to get paid. If you ask me who the Super Bowl MVP was, it was him. So he's going to get paid. And guess where he's going to probably end up? Probably going to end up in like New England or something, like a place where, I just got this funny feeling. But
he's going right to Indy, bro.
That's what I was going to say, man.
He is going right to Indy. I'm telling you now, he's going right to Indy. I'm trying to look at. There's not a lot of. Oh, Aaron Lynch is available, guys.
Yeah, that's an outside linebacker.
He's got a T-shirt too. Been there, done it.
Because obviously, I'm going Levante David as an outside linebacker.
Nick, how old is he? I'm just curious.
Levante David.
Yeah, if you could tell me, because that's the only thing that I'm worried about. Because somehow
he's 31 years old.
Is that old? Is that old as a linebacker, y'all?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm just scared that he makes the transition. He comes to San Francisco, then the age creeps. I just feel like we have that luck.
If you can keep the speed up, that's when the old man strength starts coming. So, you have that to go with too.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
So it's just about him being able to keep that speed going.
I like David, though. I can't front. Wait, are we going to all take Tampa Bay free agent?
What's that?
No, Brian, take the other Tampa Bay free agent. This will be a dope show.
No,
Brian.
Nope.
I hate you.
Wait,
I hate
was that Nick's real pick? Is Levante David?
No. I was saying like if I was,
oh, okay. All right.
Like in a fantasy world, like I'd love to have Levante David next to like outside of Fred Warner. Like,
I hate Mark, yo.
Mark, I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Mark in the comment part that my kitty was showing, so I don't know what made me immediately look down.
Yo, you look down to see if your kitty was showing. You got a kitty, bro?
Oh shit!
I'm like, is my fly open? It's like I don't sweatpants, dog. Like,
oh my
God.
God.
What is he talking about? And
You
then I
got,
look back and see
yo, he
cat.
can see you got gray sweatpants on, don't you?
I was like, huh? My cat's name is Music. Go figure. Oh man,
That's
I'm
funny.
like, what? I don't. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Brian. Who's your guy?
Oh, you want to meet me? I went kind of a different direction with this. It wasn't necessarily a fantasy. But anyway, Quentin Dunbar, cornerback, Seattle. It takes a weapon from them. When I was looking at potential cornerbacks that are free agents, he ranks one of the highest with interceptions and tackles over the average, and his fair market value right now is 8.1 annual average, which seems to would be right on par with what we're paying Verrett. And if we could have Verrett and Dunbar together, I think that would solidify that. Plus, like I said, it takes something away from Seattle, so that's always good in my book.
Yeah, I like that guy. Actually, I don't think Seattle lets him get away, but I definitely like that guy. The one thing we know about Seattle, they're consistent with, is not paying their DBs, right? Like that's something that they don't do when they become free agents. So it's definitely a shot. I really like that's realistic as heck. Actually, the other guy, the Griffin guy, is free agent too. Shaquille Griffin, I believe.
Yeah, and they're like $4 or $5 million less than we are to the cap. So they're going to have some, they got to fix their O-line. Just like, theirs is in worse shape than ours. But
according to Russell Wilson, Brian, they better.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I'm tired of playing quarterback with no offensive line. So they better figure something out.
Yeah. So I think that's where they're going to be spending a lot of money. So I think that they might let some of their defensive pieces go in order to do that, because they've neglected that offensive line, or they've made some gambles that haven't paid off also. So.
All right. So we got two linemen, so to speak, right?
Two linemen.
Yeah,
well, up on the line corners. Yeah. All right. So who did we? So we said
Mike didn't go.
No, I said I would go last. That way, I don't take anybody else.
Nick hasn't given his real opinion yet, or his real selection.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he wanted David. My bad.
No. I was saying if it was a fantasy thing, I would go with that, but I'm not going to stick with fantasy wise.
Also, I got to pick another player. Got you. All right.
I'm kind of torn on this, right? And I like the Quentin Dunbar pick. I think that's a high need of where we need to be. There's two positions that I want to see, but I'm gonna have to go with bringing Kyle Juszczyk back. I think he's a big part of this offense, and I just don't see anybody else filling in doing what he does in this offense. I know he's probably going to want a lot of money, but he's also probably not going to get that type of money because fullbacks are very, very randomly or rarely used in the NFL right now.
Teams, I think, what we said.
Unless somebody wants to change their entire offense for a fullback, I just think that there's more of a chance than we really think of bringing him back. There's another guy that I would say, but I'm not gonna say that because I already gave up Kyle Juszczyk. So I would say Kyle Juszczyk.
I'm interested. The other person's not a 49er, right?
Yeah, go with somebody who's not a 49er.
Yeah, let me hear who it would be.
It's actually another running back though.
Aaron Jones.
Nope. I'm gonna go with Marlon Mack.
Okay.
From the Colts.
I think Marlon Mack would be a huge weapon in this offense.
I like him, but you know what scares me about him? The same thing that scares me about our running backs.
Injury. Yeah.
Like they just can't figure out how to stay right.
Yep.
But the good thing is if you have another weapon like that, hopefully you could just get some rotation, but we can't tell when an injury is going to happen, you know? That's the only thing that scares me about the Mac guy.
You said Aaron Jones, which I think is
another injury guy.
Another injury guy, but I think he's going to get paid this offseason.
Yeah, he's going to get priced out anyway.
Yeah, so I think that's why I wouldn't stay with him. But yeah, definitely I think Marlon Mack would fit in this offense decently. And if you got, we have fragile guys. I understand that. Mostert's fragile. Love him to death now. And, Jeff Wilson Jr. and who knows what else is behind him. I mean, we don't even know what we're going to get from
Hasty gets injured.
Hasty. We don't even know what we're going to get from Jermichael. So I think Mack would fill in. Like, it would be a good spin between Mostert and Mack. Like, it would be a good – you're not going to lose much either there. Obviously, speed difference is going to be different. But the ability to do what they do, I think they would fit right in. So.
Okay. All right. My guy is actually going to be someone on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm going to go with Malik Hooker.
Another injured player. All right.
Hey, look, man, what you want me to do? If I could believe that we could flip the magic wand and make Jason Verrett healthy.
I'm just messing with you, bro. Dang.
Frank Gore was an injured player, too. Look at him, man.
Wait. No. We talk about injured in the NFL. Like, this dude played like 3 games. Like him and Derwin James. These are guys I want, right? But they can't get healthy.
Yeah.
Now I can't front, Mike. I wanted to draft Hooker too out of Ohio State. That guy's a baller, yo.
I mean, look, that drives down the price. Yeah, he only played in 2 games, right?
He's a playmaker.
So his price tag is going to come down a lot. But this guy, I mean, he's exactly what we're missing in this secondary, at least in my opinion. I don't, this is just me speaking for people.
We're missing a freaking playmaker, bro.
Yeah,
that's what we're missing. Even Eric Davis said, "Look, we need somebody that can come in there and get that ball, intercept the ball, give your quarterback a chance, another chance." And I like the guy. I ain't even going to front. I got to pick another guy though because.
Well, that was me going with a non-49 guy, and I think that he's actually someone that we could possibly target, right? But my 49er guy is someone I know is not coming back, but that would be Ahkello Witherspoon. I think we need another shutdown corner out here, man. I really, really think that's what we need going forward. Now, see, you did that huff and puff and eye roll, and you said just 15 minutes ago when we were talking about Jason Verrett, 1 season is all you need to be impressed. Well, damn it, now what?
Well, Ahkello gave us 4 games.
What are you talking? All right, okay.
Wait, he gave us more than 4. First of all, he didn't play in half the games, and then when he came and played, he was struggling. And then in the last 4 or 5 games, he balled out.
Yeah, he had 1 good game. No, you're right.
I just said 4.
I'm talking to Anthony now.
Oh, my bad. You got to be specific, man, because I know I said 4. I did.
All right. I look, I'm just telling y'all, I believe that this dude is a lockdown corner, and I would love to. I know it's not happening, but he would be somebody. Let me tell you, this team, if they could manage to bring back Verrett and Spoon, the secondary is okay. The secondary will be all right. We got to find the nickel guy. That's fine. But the secondary will be okay.
We already found a nickel guy. It's your boy DJ.
TJ who?
DJ Johnson.
Dante Johnson.
Y'all better cut that out. Y'all better cut it.
He played good in the slot.
Y'all aren't concerned with why we didn't get Mosley back at the end of the season? Why was he a healthy scratch for so long?
So they can pay him less money on that ERFA contract.
Special teams. That was it.
I'm trying to tell you.
All right. Okay.
Well, to answer one of the chat questions out there, no, I wouldn't bring back Patrick Peterson or bring Patrick Peterson in. He's going to be overpaid and he's going to be looking like Richard Sherman did.
There's no way he's going to be overpaid.
I tell you
he's
what,
going to look for that money, Wayne. Tell me he's not.
There's no way at his age. He's still a baller though.
people kept saying Richard Sherman should convert to a safety. If
Yeah,
Patrick Peterson converted to safety, I would be excited as hell about that.
Yeah, he would look like a Charles Woodson kind of player out there.
I would love to see him out in that kind of.
So can I go with a different?
I want to get a bold prediction from you guys real quick.
No.
Do you think Jimmy Ward
Nope.
is the starting safety by week 5 in 2021?
Yes.
Yeah. Why
Well,
wouldn't he?
Do we have a good nickel player?
I would say that he is, from my opinion, only because I think we have more pertinent pieces to replace than Ward. And I don't know that they find someone else to replace him at the same level unless he turns back into Mr. Glass.
I don't know why y'all thinking this guy is going to play a position that ain't in his contract to play.
No, I'm just asking. Like,
I don't know why y'all keep thinking that, dog.
I'm asking if this is going to be a cap casualty. Cut him, save his money, and get somebody else. That's what I'm asking.
But how much do you save on cutting him?
I could tell you.
Like $6 million, right? 6 or 7.
That's not a lot of money, right? Because how much are you paying?
I'm going back to what Eric Davis said on the show the other night. He said, I like Jimmy. But you need a ball hawk back there. You need a guy that's going to get the football, and Jimmy Ward's not that guy at safety.
Holy crap! He's a cap hit at $10 million. So let's see what happens if we release him. Hold on.
So
I could swear the cap relief was only like $6 or $7 million if we let him go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look and see right now.
I could be way wrong. I'm not the cap guy. That's Brian's forte on this show. Let's see here. How much you willing to pay a hooker? What?
I think it was less than that anyway.
How much you willing to pay Hooker for his services?
All right, Mark. All right. Hey, listen, man. After a certain point, you got to call him, Malik Escort, because there's a difference between the hooker and the escort. All right. We're talking about papers. All right. And you got to get that man his paper. Okay. So you got to do what you got to do right there. I mean, look, the injury, I think, helps. I think the injury makes him more affordable. It's the same thing when we were talking about retaining the services for Verrett, right? It's just the 1 year. So maybe teams are going to be a little bit more hesitant. Maybe you can get him for just the $7 million. That's what Breeze would say. I don't think Hooker's going to go for that, but because Hooker has more positive on film than just a one bad or off year. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see, though. Go ahead, Brian. You got the numbers there?
His dead cap's going to be $9.5 million, and it only opens up 1.4, so it's not going to be worth it to do that.
Right. It doesn't make sense to cut him. Not this season.
Man, at some point we got to stop looking at money and start looking at
in 2022. He has an out. There's an out in his contract. Leaves $4 million dead on the cap, but that means playing through this season.
It's kind of crazy. I like.
Also, remember they put that caveat in the new CFA or NFLPA, whatever the contract. CBA. That's what I was looking for. That if they don't finish their contract, their full contract, there is no comp picks. So if we use that out to let him go, we don't get anything for that. So I don't think that they are going to look to do that unless next season we have a problem with the cap again.
Right.
Because then you end up losing out on, if he signs with another team, you end up losing out on any compensation. Now, if it's fiscally beneficial, then I understand that. It doesn't look that way.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know what his so April 1st, an additional $3.5 million becomes guaranteed for Jimmy Ward too.
All right, let me ask you about some random names here, okay? You guys tell me, just give me a quick yes or no. Sheldon Day.
What are we answering?
Would you be mad if the Niners kicked the tires on these people?
Oh yeah, I'd be mad about Sheldon Day. And I like Sheldon Day, but
I wouldn't be mad if the Niners kicked the tires on Sheldon Day. I wouldn't.
Right. If they could bring him back for league minimum, then yeah, I wouldn't be upset about it. But I'm not paying him a bunch of money to be a backup guy.
Right.
And didn't he get injured with the Colts this last year?
He's been injured his entire career.
Well, right, but I thought he had an injury towards the end of the season.
He finished the season with Cleveland, didn't he? He finished.
No, he's with the Colts. He went to the Colts with.
Yeah, he followed Buck.
He went to Colts with Buckner.
Buckner.
Damn. I thought. Yeah. You guys are right. You guys are absolutely right. You're 100% right. All right. Well then, all right. Let's play this game. Let's look at the quarterbacks, and then you guys stop me when you hear a name that you would be excited about.
Just one guy I wanted to say that
reverse.
This one guy I wanted to sign as a free agent. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Go get me a vet that can sit there and play some games. If you cut Jimmy Garoppolo, you save how much money? I believe Ryan Fitzpatrick can do what Jimmy does. I do. And then you can draft your guy. Or you can groom Josh Rosen. He's a first-round draft pick.
And I don't think that we disagree with you. I think that that's a discussion that we've had before, from my perspective anyways. I don't think that the front office is ready to do that.
Oh.
You don't think that they're ready to do what?
I just feel like that's
Jimmy, unless they're getting a clear, like that guy, upgrade, that's going to be a generational talent. I just don't see them doing that and replacing him. I think that they feel like they can win, and as John Lynch said, when they need the money, they'll open up his contract talks if that comes to fruition.
And I forgot to play this video. I forget who brought up Verrett first, but let me just go ahead and do this one more time, because anytime we talk about Verrett this offseason, I'm going to play this video also.
Bro, coming back? Hey, I can't ask that man that question, bro.
Shit, we gonna see. We gonna see.
All right. Okay.
We gonna see.
So I'm pretty sure the word gonna get out to John Lynch and Kyle.
All right.
Yeah. I know my dog interested, man. Yeah, bro.
I think that's huge, man. The fact that he had no problem going on, I won't say on the record, but you know what I'm saying? He's talking with his buddy, and even Jimmy acknowledged, I'm sure they're going to see this. I'm sure they're going to hear this. He's interested. Make this man an offer. I think Jason's coming back, man. I really, really think Jason's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
I do. And I think it's a good thing. I just don't know what didn't impress anybody about his season. So, all right, let me read these quarterbacks really quick. All right, I'm going to start from the top, and this is going to be in alphabetical order of the teams they're coming from. All right, Brett Hundley, Matt Schaub, RG3. Nobody. Wow. Okay. Matt Barkley. Don't all speak at once. Mitchell Trubisky, Tyler Bray, Brandon Allen, Kevin Hogan, Andy Dalton. Okay. Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I could do the Dak.
Okay. All right.
I could do the Dak too.
2 for Dak.
It's going to be expensive. We could do the Dak.
All right.
Oh, that was a dab, not a Dak.
All right. What about Blake Bortles? Okay. Tim Boyle. AJ McCarron. Jacoby Brissett. Phillip Rivers.
Retired.
Done.
Mike Glennon. Tyrod Taylor. Just me? Only me? Okay. All right. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
If the price is right. But are you talking to bring this player in to totally, like, we're going to send Jimmy on his way?
I don't care what happens with Jimmy. I just want to know about bringing these guys here.
Well, we need a better backup, so I think that Fitzpatrick fits that bill. So yeah.
Exactly.
How do y'all not like Tyrod? I'm just curious. Just curious.
How about this, Brian? How about this, Mike? Why do you like Tyrod?
He gives us a dimension that we don't have. The athleticism, the deep arm, the deep shot. He's got the strong arm. He brings something that we don't currently have on this roster. The same reason why we convinced ourselves that Josh Johnson was a good signing. We know Josh Johnson's not a good signing, but why do we get excited? We wanted to see something different, right? Well, that's what you get with Tyrod.
Have we heard anything? And I'm just asking because I haven't, or I can't think of anything. Have you heard anything about Kyle ever talking about Tyrod Taylor?
No, but
so I don't think he's coming.
So then we can just stop reading this list because he's never talked about any of these guys.
He has talked about. Well, I don't know who's on your list, so I don't know where you're coming from.
I'm just looking at the free agents list. He hasn't talked about any of these guys on here before.
But why?
Well, I mean, he's talked about RG3. He was his quarterback for a while.
And it was pretty clear that he didn't want him. He was giving.
I understand. I'm just saying he's got a history with him. I think that if Tyrod Taylor was someone that Kyle was interested in, I think they probably could have made some move to make that happen if they thought it was an option. You know, just like getting Bridgewater, probably an option. But I don't think that I've heard anything. If they were really interested, I think they would have already done that last year.
Right.
Which is why we haven't seen those names tied to the 49ers, I think, in my opinion.
What were you, Nick? You were going to say something?
Yeah, I just don't. I think our backup spot is already handled right now. And
Josh Rosen?
With Josh Rosen. And I think that's going to actually start the season if Jimmy Garoppolo is not traded or cut. I think that's actually how the Niners are going to go in at they may not say it's a competition, but it's going to be a competition.
And I think you're right.
And I truly believe that. And then if there's still time, you can still, make that decision. You still have an out on Jimmy Garoppolo next year. It's not just this year. You still save money next year.
Not this much, though.
Yeah, it's pretty much damn near close.
I thought it wasn't the same amount.
No, it's I was just looking at it. It's 20. You would get a cap savings of 25.6. It's actually more than this year. This year's 23.6.
That's how much you would save this year versus next year. But you got to remember that these contracts were done with the expectation of the cap growing every year. So percentage-wise, no. You get what I'm saying? So what this year, how much is the cap savings? 20, 23, 24 point something, right?
23.6.
Right. So it's going up $2 million as far as the number goes, but the cap is increasing by more than $2 million. So the percentage is right. Am I wrong here?
No, I understand what you're saying, but I think that you're digging too far into the weeds.
So then
still saving money. I mean,
then you're actually have less dead money next year in 2022.
Yes.
Because you have 2.8 this year and you only have 1.4 dead money in 2022.
Right. So well, the further you go into the contract, the less dead money.
The less the dead money, right?
Because you're paying more of what the total contract value
is.
Right.
But I'm saying, so if you play out with him one more year, you're still going to save a shit ton of money, and your debt is even less. So this year, I really think that the Niners, if they want to upgrade, they're going to do whatever it takes to upgrade, but they're going to get a better
option.
They're going to upgrade, right? It's not going to be, oh, is he that guy?
Or, well, there's no clear upgrades out there. They don't exist.
I'm just saying, if Deshaun Watson comes and they really want to get him and they believe that he's that much of an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo and they can financially do it, they're going to pull the trigger on that, right? But if you get a guy like, I don't even think that they really made a true offer for Matt Stafford.
They didn't.
They didn't, right? It was clear as day that they didn't make that offer. And that is reason that they don't believe that he's better than what they have. If they really wanted him, they would have made that offer and brought it back.
Well, it's not that I don't think they believe he's better than Jimmy. I do think that they think he's better. I think that they're looking for something a little bit more long-term than that. And that's what makes me pause on some of these veteran guys. Unless you're bringing these veteran guys in. Like Fitzpatrick's 38. He's not going to carry this team for the next 4 or 5 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No one's talking about how old Fitz is, but there's a reason why I don't think the team is in on guys like that. I think that there's a reason we're bringing in all these guys who are 25, 26, 27 years old and looking and all of a sudden we're tied to guys like Deshaun Watson and Sam Darnold, right? Those are the Carson Wentz even, but he's 28, 29, something like that too. But I think there's a reason why you see them tied to those kind of guys. Because if by chance they bring them here and they work, okay, this could be our guy for the next 5 years. For the next 6 years.
And that's what I mean by is this our guy? Is he, yes, you may get an upgrade right now for a year or two, but it's not going to be the future. You're trying to get that franchise. Whether they like Jimmy Garoppolo a whole lot or not, because we don't know look, just like Eric Davis said the other day, Jimmy Garoppolo is a capable quarterback to win football games. He's proven that when healthy, right?
He proved it for one season.
Right.
And that's why, listen, Eric was on here, and I disagree with a lot of what he said, but you guys know how we treat guests when they're on.
Right.
We're not going to sit here and debate with them the way we would debate with each other, right?
Right.
Eric said a lot of stuff that I disagreed with, and that's one of those things. Because we've seen a flash-in-the-pan quarterback do it one time and be like, wow, and then they never do it again. That has happened more often than not, believe it or not.
Well, it happens all over the league.
Right.
But there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just quarterback play. It's
right.
Offensive line play, running back play, your defensive side of the football. But, if you give him – I do believe that if you give Jimmy Garoppolo a good offensive line that can protect him, he can win you football games. You give him running backs that can stay healthy and you're not changing the game plan 5, 6, 7 times out of a year, out of a 16-game season, I believe that he can win you football games. You give him a defense that is going to play like they played in 2019, I believe he can win football games. I don't believe he's the worst on our football team right now.
Right, but you're doing exactly what Eric did. You're making all 21 other players stellar, and then Jimmy can win games. Well, then if that's the case, come on.
Right, but I mean, look
go
at
back to your guys. You talk about Darnold. Darnold's not going to come in here and be like, oh, he's the savior. That's not an upgrade over Jimmy. He may be better at something.
Why do you say that? Darnold has more ability than Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, he does. In
your opinion, fine. I think that Jimmy is going to be better in this system than Darnold would be in this system. I'm not a Jimmy lover. I told you guys that.
I've never seen him in this system, so I can't speak on what he looks like in the system, but I can speak about their physical attributes. Darnold's got the better arm, he's got the better scrambling ability, and he's ready to get rid of the ball faster if it's a off-script play.
I said
off-script play.
I said Darnold probably as soon as we heard that they were shopping him, that he would fit this system, right?
Well, you said at the beginning of the season at least, because I remember you talking about it.
Right, but Darnold, and people laughed at me. People laughed at me when I said it. But you go back and you watch Darnold in college, he was a turnover machine.
Yep.
He was a turnover machine. And now, Mike, to go back to what you're saying.
Why was he a turnover machine? There's a reason for that. Because he was a gunslinger, right? We're not talking about sack fumbles. We're not talking about I'm saying?
But he also his accuracy wasn't as good in college.
Right. No, right.
I know you like to argue for argument's sake, Mike, but I mean, think about what you'd have to give up to get Darnold. Do you want to give up that draft capital to do that?
What are you giving up to get?
That clear?
What are you giving?
You're going to have to make a trade to get Darnold, some way, shape, or form or another, right? He's not a free agent, so you'd have to trade for him.
Yeah, but what are you trading for him?
They want a first-round pick, Mike.
That's what
everyone says that. Come on, guys.
Giving up a second-round pick this year. It's not worth it to me. He's not that much of an upgrade over Jimmy. And if Jimmy is healthy, with a healthy line, then I think he'll be a winner. Like
they gave up a second-round pick for a guy who played 5 games and got injured. 2 games and got injured. How can you say they won't give that up for Sam Darnold, who they've seen play for 3
seasons? I can't say that they won't. I just don't think that they will.
Right, but you're saying whether or not they will, right? And I get that. We can't speak with anything definitively. But if they're willing to give up a second-round pick for a guy that played 2 games and got injured, why wouldn't they be willing to give that same compensation up for a guy who's played in 3 seasons?
Well, and it goes.
Well, he hasn't played in 3 seasons. He's also been injured as well, and he's missed games. So Sam Darnold hasn't missed games.
It goes back to this also, right? And you go back and you look at this and you go to this situation and you say, okay, the Niners want to upgrade at positions, right? Whether it's the quarterback position or wherever it may be. If they really look, you've heard them go back and say, you've heard John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan both on media, on record, say, we want to build our draft capital. We want to build our draft capital. We want our draft capital. We cannot go into a season again like we did this year with the minimum amount of draft picks that we had. This is coming from John Lynch. right, speaking to the media, if they want Sam Darnold and think, or Deshaun Watson, or whoever it may be, and think that they are the future, they will give up those picks.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not 100% sure that that's what they want, they're completely okay with Jimmy Garoppolo leading this football team.
Okay. One, they're not okay with Jimmy Garoppolo leading the team. We know that because they are constantly in the market for another quarterback. We know they're not okay with it. They might not mind settling for Jimmy, but it's clear they want to go in a different direction. But what we got to think about when we look at John and Kyle, right? These guys have been here for 4 seasons. They've already gotten extensions on their contracts, right? At this point in their careers, right now, this offseason, it is time to tie your fate directly to a quarterback, because this is the point where every good coach has his guy. I don't care. Belichick is a defensive-minded coach. He needed the Tom Brady. He went through Bledsoe. There was another guy. I can't remember his freaking name right now because it was 20 damn years ago. But there was Bledsoe, someone, Brady. You get what I'm saying? You at some point you have to tie yourself to that guy. Andy Reid over in Philly, we saw it. All these different players, and then boom, it was McNabb, right? Then he did it again with Mike Vick. Then he goes over to KC. Now he's got his Patrick Mahomes, right? You look at Sean Payton. Any head coach that is worth their weight in salt ties their name to a quarterback directly. Shanahan has yet to show us that. He has to do it this season. Maybe next season, but he has to do it sometime soon, is my point. And that's why
he has to, because the contract's almost up.
Whose contract is almost up?
Jimmy Garoppolo's. He's done in 2022.
That might not be his guy, though.
Right.
That's why
I'm saying he has to start looking for that now. He has to start looking for that, whether it's through draft, whether it's through free agency, whether it's he just got that extension. So Jimmy Garoppolo, if he's going to stay here till 2022 and they're not going to up him, they still need another 4 years of a quarterback. So if you go to a younger guy and a 23, 25-year-old guy, Sam Darnold, Deshaun Watson, or whoever it may be, that's your extension right there. That's your guy feeding up to another guy that you had before.
It's just Nick, right?
Nick's frozen, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was me or not. But look, 49er fans aren't going to go for this carousel at quarterback positions when we know this team was just in a Super Bowl. Get your guy and let's do this with that guy.
And I think
there's no way I'm the only one tired of this shit, right?
I think we're all tired of it, but I think that the 49ers have made it pretty clear that for now, Jimmy is the guy. And I know that we don't want to hear that.
I don't know where you get that from.
Because of the movements that they've made so far. If they wanted somebody else, they would have drafted somebody else. They haven't spent any capital since C.J. Beathard, 3rd round, 2017. That's the last time they spent capital on a quarterback.
I felt like they thought Jimmy was the guy, and now Jimmy's going through these injuries, and now they probably are looking for ways to move on. This is why they're always looking for a quarterback in free agency. Like, or when the offseason starts, they're figuring out how to tie themselves to quarterbacks. Now, Brian's right. They haven't made a move on any of these guys, but maybe the guy that they're trying to make a move on, we don't know yet. Or maybe they're trying to trade up in the draft to draft one of the top 2 quarterbacks. There's only 2 that I would probably give up picks for, right? Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson, maybe. Like, other than that, like, I
wouldn't even say Trevor Lawrence because I don't think he's going to make it in the NFL.
Trevor Lawrence. See, I think he'll make it in the NFL.
I think Zach Wilson will be good, and I think Fields is going to take a little bit of time, but I think he'll be good too. So, but I think Lawrence is overrated for the NFL.
This is what it comes down to. I don't care if they make the pick and they make the wrong pick, but you can't keep doing what we've done the last 2 or 3 seasons in a row.
Looking for quarterbacks.
Yes.
But if they know,
that's what I'm saying. Get your guy.
If they know when Jimmy's healthy, they can win. Why would you go spend draft capital to bring Darnold here? And if you don't know,
it's not just
can't stay healthy. How about that?
It's not even just that. Like we watched the game plan change toward the end of the season. We watched Kyle Shanahan take the ball out of his quarterback's hand and do things differently. And then we watched him give the ball back to the quarterback, thinking that he was going to go and win us that game. I don't think the trust is there. I think the inabilities to do certain things are there with Jimmy. And I think Kyle is finally saying, damn, I made a mistake.
Yes. That's exactly what I think they are.
I thought he was the dude that can do this and do that, but maybe he's not. So I tell you what, we're going to look. We have him under contract. And this is why he is the quarterback. He's under contract for 2 more seasons. There's nobody. He has the job. But the question is, I just feel like this would be the season for the 49ers to move on from him only because of the salary cap. And I feel like if we're trying to make moves, you got to do it this season. I get it. Next season, you can get more money. But this is the season we need to improve. Brian and Mike.
Willing to make this? Who are you willing to go out and negotiate for?
No, I get what you're saying.
You're willing to give up the cap. I understand there's some salaries if you were going to trade with, like Darnold, we don't make as much money. Watson,
I'm not worried about trading for a quarterback. F getting the guy and from trading a guy. Sign a free agent. Sign a Tyrod Taylor. Sign a Ryan Fitzpatrick. Sign a guy that could come in so you can draft a guy, right? And that might be the guy.
Right. Show the faithful that you are on the path of getting this problem.
Don't just stay settled.
Yes. Because right now we're just muddled. We're just sitting here and we're stuck in mud and we're not doing anything. The team is telling us we don't think Jimmy is the guy. The team is telling us that. So what are you doing to rectify that situation?
It's in their body language. Every time they mention Jimmy's name,
the players are frustrated with Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I'm saying? Joe Staley went on the fourth the Matt Barr and Javi podcast and flat out said Kyle took plays out of Jimmy's hands.
No, he didn't.
Who? Yes, Joe Staley said that. This isn't me. This is Joe Staley's work. It's out there. It's on the record. Go find the podcast. Hit up Matt Barr and Javi online and ask them for the link. Joe Staley said these words.
Ouch.
Okay.
They are over Jimmy, but we
don't think with your passion and concern. Think about from a business perspective. How do we make this better? Give me realistic situations that you can make this better.
Brian.
Oh, I just did, Brian. All right. You cut Jimmy. You sign a free agent quarterback. Now you go ahead and get your offensive line. You go back and sign Trent Williams. You can probably sign Juice. You're bringing back key pieces minus the quarterback that took you to the Super Bowl in 2019. I'm not saying that he's going to Ryan Fitzpatrick or any one of these free agent quarterbacks out there are going to lead you to the promised land, but at least you got a guy that you know A is probably going to be healthy, B you bring in the rest of your team back, and C you save some money. Like that's the whole point.
So I just don't think that Kyle and John want to gamble on a free agent that's not been in their system. Like I
think they're gambling in the
draft. They feel like they got burnt from Jimmy, then they don't want to get burnt again.
I think they're gambling in the draft. They got burnt from Jimmy from a trade. I think they're going to gamble. I think they're going to gamble in the draft. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but I don't think I disagree because I don't think that they feel given where they're at right now. Now, if you were to say Jimmy's not on the roster, they might look at it differently, but because they have Jimmy on the roster, I don't see them not in the first and not in the second round. At a minimum, they're not picking a quarterback. And by then, because even then you're past Newman probably by then. So you're looking at Ian Book, the guys that are going to be in the third, fourth, fifth round. So granted, we've had this discussion before. You can find a diamond in the rough in those rounds. It's not. You can do that, but you're still taking a gamble. And if you want to be in have a winning franchise, you have to have a quarterback you can do that with. And I don't think you're going to go out and sign a free agent like Teddy Bridgewater or Tyrod Taylor, and that's going to work out for you.
But Brian,
not year one.
You're looking at this from strictly a financial standpoint.
From a business, not just the finances of it, but also the front office with trade picks and what they need to make this team better.
So if you're looking at it in the grand scheme of things, the quarterback position is bigger to me than the secondary, than pass rush, than offensive line. The quarterback position is the position. It has to be. It has to be, right? And so
I understand what you're
Kyle
saying.
Shanahan, unfortunately, and his 4 years here is telling us, guys, I don't know what the hell I'm doing at the quarterback position. It's what he's telling us. this isn't from us. If he was confident in Jimmy, stop letting everybody know that you're in on Tom Brady when he's 41 years old. You know what I'm saying? If that's not the case, stop telling people that you're in on Philly, that you're calling the Jets for Sam Darnold. Like this, Kyle and this organization are doing that.
First of all, there's a lot of the media out there that spins this bullshit news the way they want to spin it. And some of those moves were never made. They have told us straight up that they were going to inquire to make an upgrade at every position on this team. Every year they'll reanalyze every position. So I would expect nothing less than them for them to go look at them.
Call about
unless they're making formal offers and getting turned down like the Khalil Mack situation, then I'm just not buying it. Right now, as far as I can tell, Jimmy is their quarterback. Are they going to look for somebody better? Absolutely. But have they found that person? Apparently not.
So listen to what you're saying, right? You said John Lynch went on the record and said that they will openly address and call about anybody that they feel could be an upgrade over what they have on the roster, right? Why are they making it known that they're interested in Sam Darnold?
Well, I haven't heard that come out of John or Kyle's mouth.
We haven't heard anything come out of John, but Matt Mayoko went out and said that they called about Stafford.
That's not the front office. I know he's but he's not them.
Oh, Matt Mayoko is the mouthpiece for this team. He doesn't say anything without their permission. We know that. He's
a journalist, as far as I'm concerned.
Right, but Mike, you just said yourself that they didn't make an offer on Matt Stafford.
I know that, but Brian said that they will call about anybody that they feel is an upgrade over any position,
that could just be an informal. What are you guys looking to get out of him, or what do you want for that?
But the fact that
they're trying to balance out the big show, the big scheme of things, the big business picture.
Right, but the fact that you picked up the phone and made the call means that at least in your mind, you know or think that he could be an upgrade over what you currently have. Now, maybe they said, hey, just curious, is Matt really on the market? And if so, what are you guys thinking? And whoever's on the other end of that phone said, whatever. They could have said a 7th round pick this year, and the Niners say, yeah, that's probably too much for us, and they hung up. I'm not saying that they made an offer. I'm saying that the fact that they picked up the phone and they have already said that if we think it's an upgrade, we will make that phone call. They made the phone call. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they made the offer. I'm
just saying a lot of those phone calls that we hear weren't made because the media spins it how they want to spin it.
I don't think Matt Mayoko says they made the call. They didn't make the call.
We also got to understand that every football team is going to do their due diligence to see what's out there and what it's going to cost. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's an upgrade or that's what they're really looking to do, but they're going to make that phone call just to see, hey, they could call and say, okay, well, Sam Darnold's available. Okay, well, Indianapolis wants Sam Darnold. Well, okay, let's make a trade and get in with Indianapolis, and we'll send Sam Darnold to Indy, but we want this and this and this, and we're giving up this. It's just, you got to do the nature of the business. It doesn't mean that they're 100% in on that guy. And I'm just speaking as what I would be doing is if I was running this team, I'm going to call every single person and see if they're available. We heard this before, about him and Tom Brady, but we also heard it before Jimmy Garoppolo when they tried to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo the first time and they said he's not available. And then they said, okay. And John Lynch said, okay, well, what about Tom Brady? And he's like, he's not available. So these are conversations that every NFL team is going to have. It doesn't necessarily mean, and it could mean, but we as podcasters and fans of this team don't necessarily know the ins and outs of what they're interested in or what they're exactly looking for. I do know one thing. The quarterbacks on this roster, Jimmy is the best one that is on the roster and was the best one in Kyle Shanahan's tenure and won the most games with Kyle Shanahan, and this team is nothing without Jimmy Garoppolo as of right now. Now, if you go out and you think that somebody's going to be bigger and better and you truly believe in that and you need the money, and like they do right now, they're going to make that move. They're going to make that move. No matter what it costs them, if they truly believe that Jimmy Garoppolo cannot win them football games and they can't make it back to another Super Bowl, they're going to do what they have to do in their due diligence to make this football team better.
And look, I want to make it clear. I'm not opposing keeping Jimmy, but I think if you keep Jimmy, you have to draft your guy in the first 2 rounds. And Brian, I know you just said that that's not what they're going to do if they keep Jimmy, because of cap space and all that, right? The money
Not just
allocated.
that. I mean, we need to fix the O-line. So
But-
that's what they're going to address. They're going to do that in free agency and the draft.
They have already made it clear that Jimmy isn't the guy, and all of us are saying, fine, bring in a veteran and then draft the backup or draft the guy to groom, right? What's wrong with Jimmy being the veteran and grooming the guy? Honestly.
Right, and that's
I
why
don't
that's
have a
why I
problem
just
with that.
literally- That's why I literally just said before that I think Josh Rosen is that guy that's going to be groomed.
And
in
that's a
Kyle
good
Shanahan's
possibility.
system.
You know, and
And-
we've discussed the trenches before. I think that they're going to spend their first round draft pick on either Slater, Aziz, or a corner. And I think that Slater and Aziz have bigger upsides than the 3 corners that are available that will be or should be available in the first round. And
I
they can pick up another cornerback further in into the second round.
I think you can get your lockdown corner at pick 12.
Well, you
Absolutely.
could.
There's
but
3
I
guys.
think Aziz is more important than your lockdown corner.
So
I think your speed defender, your speed rusher is more important.
So to me, Aziz is still not. Aziz isn't the best pass rusher in the draft either. He's good, but there's guys out there I think that will fit this 49ers defense so much better that they could get in the second round. So we could go back and forth with this, but I think you get your lockdown corner that you don't have to worry about for 5 years. You get that guy right now. And that guy would be J.C. Horn. I think that's the dog mentality you need on this team. And I think that would be a guy you can go get. Now, I want Jimmy Garoppolo to be here if healthy and all that kind of stuff. Like, I really do. I think my only concern is that Jimmy Garoppolo for this season and next season is costing the team a lot of money. Now, next season we might not care about it, but this season we have a lot of pieces we got to fulfill. Why are we missing out on the whole point of the free agency when we're sitting at $19 million and everybody's like, keep Jimmy and this is at a third? I'm with that. Now, I'm hoping that Brian's theory comes true and they find a way to restructure it and pay that later on down the line. I'm cool with it. But I still like you said, I'm cool if they're going to let Jimmy groom whoever they draft if they do it in that sense. But you want Jimmy to groom a guy at $28 million? And we don't have any money to pay other people.
And I've said that in the past on previous shows. Yes, he's a hit at 28 million, 27 point whatever million right now. That's not going to be the case come
next season.
No, even April. I think that they restructure his contract so they can use that money.
Right.
They're going to be able to sign free agents, but I just don't think that because of how John is looking at the quarterback carousel, if they can find a way to upgrade, say go get Deshaun Watson for 3 first-round picks and 2 third-round picks that are our comp picks for the next 2 years, say that they want to do that. Well, then they can still get out from underneath Jimmy's contract. But come the new season or before the draft, if it doesn't work out before the draft, then that's a done deal. I think that they're going to go ahead and go and extend Jimmy at that point, open up that money so that they can, come March 18th or whatever. Yeah, 18th is a free agent. Once they get to the point where they have to have, all their free agents are 51 underneath the cap, that's when they'll start talking about, is Jimmy the absolute? Because then they're going to have to talk about an extension, which is going to, or a restructure, probably extension, to open up that cap space. And, Jimmy could say no. He could. Because then at that point, he'll have the leverage at that point.
Yes, he can.
Because then they won't have a whole lot to choose from.
And he's going to force the 49ers to make a decision.
But like I brought up in the chat, I'm kind of in my thought process. He's probably learned from Brady. Brady reworked his contract with the thought process of the Patriots keeping certain players around, and that didn't happen. And Brady was pissed about it. And I think that there's probably some players that Jimmy wants around to keep him successful, and he's not going to renegotiate that contract until that happens.
All right.
I guess my whole feeling on it is we're already turning a blind eye to Josh Rosen. Now, Josh Rosen has a lot of talent. It's just he hasn't – who has he played for and with what talent?
Right. He's like stability.
It's the same. It's the same as people that are hating on Sam Darnold and saying, well, he hasn't won us, a shit ton in the NFL. Well, yeah, he has no weapons around him. He has not a very good coaching staff. There are things that – who knows? This could be Josh Rosen's savior as being a 49er. Who knows? I'm not saying that he's the guy, but I'm just saying they obviously like him. They re-signed him. And before they re-signed C.J. Beathard, they re-signed him before they re-signed Nick Mullins. And he could be that guy that's going to take that tenure. We don't know. We as Niner fans are all getting excited because of every report that comes out. Every quarterback that is becoming available is attached to the 49ers.
Yep.
How much are they really attached to the 49ers? We don't know. We can sit here and say, we're going to get Deshaun Watson. We're going to get Sam Darnold. We're going to get Matthew Stafford. But again, if it's not the guy that they really want, and right now it shows me that they wanted Josh Rosen. They signed him.
No. No. Josh Rosen couldn't beat out Blaine Gabbert, guys. Like, I understand.
Look at the team that he was on.
I understand what they're doing on paper. I get what they're doing on paper. I understand that you guys are just looking at the numbers. They brought him back. I understand that. One, we got to build the 90. There's going to be 3 more quarterbacks that make this roster that never touch the field for the 49ers. Okay? Josh Rosen could very well be one of them.
I think, yeah.
He could very well be one of those quarterbacks. My point is, I never – what was good about Josh Rosen?
What do you mean what's good? He's got a fucking cannon of an arm.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, Bro, go watch UCL tape. That kid can throw the damn ball.
His arm ain't that strong, bro.
It's stronger than Sam Darnold's.
Blaine Gabbert beat out Josh Rosen, and RG3 beat out Josh Rosen.
Bro, it's about the system, though. It's about the system that they wanted.
So he's supposed to come here.
You're telling me that Josh Rosen couldn't have ran that Arizona team if they didn't go and draft the guy that the coach wanted?
I'm talking about where he came from and where he's at now. That's what I'm talking about. You're telling me that he's supposed to come to Shanahan's complicated offense and be better than what he was in Tampa, where he couldn't beat out RG3 and Blaine Gabbert? I understand that they just extended this guy, but we're talking about Josh Rosen, who couldn't beat out Blaine Gabbert. Like, because they gave him a contract, they gave Josh Johnson a contract. Josh Johnson was never even active in a game.
I'd be ventured to say that Gabbert got his position because of his NFL experience, and Rosen doesn't have that.
Rosen was active. What do you mean?
For his rookie year, yeah. Other than that, he's been the backup on 2 other teams before us, and then practice squad at that.
I'm just so confused as to why we're turning a blind eye to Josh Rosen because he's had a shitty tenure in the NFL because of coaches and poor staffing and poor teams that he's been on, and we're going to turn it to a blind eye as because he couldn't beat out Blaine Gabbert. Like,
yes,
why did the 49ers sign Blaine Gabbert?
Because that was who was available at the time, and everybody laughed at that too. I never said it was a good idea. Bad quarterbacks and players make rosters all the time because you got to fill a roster. You guys know the only reason that Josh Rosen ever even came here is because we needed to get another quarterback to be a backup and had to be someone who was on a practice squad because they had already been going through COVID testing. That's the only reason he was here. They couldn't just go get somebody off the street. Had to be someone currently on an NFL roster.
Yep. So you're saying they only extended him, Mike, because he'll be a camp body? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, why not? Somebody who's been in the system for the last 3 weeks. You don't got to train them all over again because you can't bring back C.J. Beathard without a real contract. Can't bring back Nick Mullins. You don't know if he needs offseason surgery. They brought back the first guy. Hey, you're here. Sign this real quick. And they already owned his rights. Let's keep that in mind. They owned his rights.
He was an exclusive rights agent.
He was the quick sign this paper guy. I don't think that this guy is even seriously in consideration. And I could be wrong. You know me, I'll own it. I could very well be wrong here. But this guy was hey, we already got your rights, bro. You're not going anywhere unless we say so. Just sign this paper for the 1-year deal. We'll see you next camp. That's all I'm saying. Like, are we really trying to sit here and convince ourselves that Rosen could be the guy? Sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not me.
Right, but that's because you want to see change. That's why you want to see a different quarterback. So you're not opening your horizons and looking at the what is actually going on right now. If they didn't want Josh Rosen, they wouldn't have signed him. They could have easily re-signed Nick Mullins. They could have. He's an ERFA. They could have signed him at chump change, and if his shit didn't go right, they could have did whatever they wanted to do and got
Nick
somebody
Mullins
else.
Literally needed surgery. Why would you sign him?
The same reason we sign other injured players.
Who have we signed in the off? All right, okay. All
Who
right.
have we signed in the offseason?
Who have we signed in the offseason that just came off of a surgery?
Who did we sign in the offseason?
Right now, without waiting until the draft and free agency, it didn't happen. This is someone who we own the rights, and they signed him. This guy, oh shit, it's really Wayne. You got a cat for real?
Yes. You didn't see that earlier?
His cat's name Music.
Yo, I saw that thing curl up behind Wayne. I thought it was a shadow moving, bro. I was about to do a prayer for you. I swear to God, I did not know you really had a cat, bro. Oh my God, I thought it was a shadow. Holy smokes. Oh, okay. All right, my bad.
Bro, he literally said, my cat's name is Music.
I ain't hear none of that, bro.
Mike be in the zone.
I remember you saying you look down at your crotch. That was it.
We started laughing.
Mike stopped listening after that.
So
because he said kitty cat, and I'm like,
you're kitty. Yep.
All right. I'm sorry. But no, my point though was like the team doesn't usually sign guys this early to an extension off of an injury.
What about did Alexander have an injury?
Alexander wasn't signed this early.
Did Sherman have an injury?
Sherman wasn't signed this early.
They were signed as soon as they could, though.
Sherman had to become a free agent, and he was negotiating with other teams. We signed a guy before he was even allowed to speak to other teams with Josh Rosen. Yeah. That's my point.
Sure.
He was
right.
healthy.
That's exactly why it means something. You don't want him speaking to anybody else.
All right.
If you don't want him, you're going to let him test free agency.
I'm not saying they didn't want him. I'm saying they have to fill a roster. That's all I'm saying. I don't think Josh Rosen's the guy. I don't think Shanahan or Lynch thinks that he's the guy. That's all I'm saying. I could be wrong. And we'll see. This is something that we'll literally see. We'll see this play out. This isn't something that we have to debate about or anything. I just don't think that he's the guy. That's all. That's all I'm saying. By the way, shout out to JT for the contribution. We didn't get to read on the air. Shout out to Peachy for the contribution. We didn't get to read on the air. And Tino, I think, was the other person that made the contribution. Shout out to you guys for the contributions. We appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. All right. Noah Hale says, yo, welcome back, Nick. Y'all don't sleep on Josh Rosen, JS. Just saying, has a cannon and touch. So, people think he's got it. Then we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Maybe he's the guy that no one saw coming.
Anthony McLean says Dante Pettis loves cats too.
I ain't no motherfucking Dante Pettis though. Anthony.
All right, guys. We've been on for almost an hour and 45. We went over all the free agents. Was there anything else that you guys want to get to before we wrap this one up, man?
No, I think we covered everything we were going to talk about. I mean, unless somebody else wants the floor.
No, I'm good. I don't know anything else. I could talk all night, but
any thoughts on this other topics here? John Lynch into the Hall of Fame, Nick. I know you weren't on the show when we discussed that. He finally gets in.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. About damn time. Well deserved. I mean, the guy had a hell of a career. I like Takeo Spike's tweet today. I believe it was. This will be the last time that Patrick Willis is congratulating people because next year we'll be congratulating him. So hopefully that's the case, man, because that's another guy. P. Willie definitely deserves it. But no, it was good to see that he got in. It was definitely deserving for him. And, it's just probably so surreal for him as well. The team that he played for so many years, and they won a Super Bowl when he was in Tampa at the time. And it just, all comes back. So well-deserved to him, man. And he's, congratulations to him. My guy, John, right here. Look, there's John right there.
Tall-ass John Lynch.
He is pretty tall. That's for sure.
All right, guys, let's do this round, man. Let's get these final thoughts up out of here, and we're all gonna go home. I'm gonna go eat some sushi I've been waiting on.
Sushi.
Oh, I had sushi the other night, man. It was so amazing.
I could go OD on some sushi, dog.
Okay, so since you guys eat sushi, let me tell you guys about this meal. Not every Japanese place has it, but it's called takoyaki. Have I told y'all about this before?
No.
Takoyaki. It's a little fried dough ball, but inside of it some kind of sauce and octopus. They deep fry it. They put the spicy mustard on top of this. I think it's like Worcestershire sauce. I'm not sure what the dark sauce is, but that's what's on top.
It's a Worcestershire sauce.
Who the hell came up with the name Worcestershire sauce? Like, that's the hardest name.
Man.
Is that where that's from? Like, that's the hardest freaking name ever, yo. Like, why isn't it just like Worcester sauce? Like, it's so hard to say. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike. I had this argument with my wife. We were trying to figure out who came up with the name because it's just like the dumbest name ever for a damn sauce. It's like Worcestershire sauce. Like, what is that?
It's from England.
All I know is
makes sense.
On top of the joint. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. So.
Hey, what are you guys doing for Valentine's Day?
Not a damn thing. I've been married over 20 years, man. I don't. Yeah, Valentine's Day, my anniversary trumps all of that stuff.
Oh, I know, but
my wife's in the same boat. She doesn't. It's a Hallmark holiday as far as we're concerned.
I want to hear the rest of the story about sushi real quick, though.
Oh no, I didn't have another story. I'm just saying that's what I was going to eat afterwards. And if you guys like octopus, or if you like trying stuff from the Japanese places, try takoyaki. That's all.
Taco Rocky.
No,
takoyaki.
Like Taco Tuesday. Taco.
Yaki.
Taco.
Like it doesn't taste very good. It's yucky.
Like the drink.
Spelled with a K instead. That's all. It's just spelled with a K. Takoyaki.
Every time we order sushi, I get the dinner for two.
Yeah, you OD on that joint,
bro. And Jess will have to go and order her own separate rolls because I eat the whole shit for dinner for two.
Yo, sushi is like,
bro, it's like
I feel like I'm freaking Goku from Dragon Ball Z, yo.
What's your favorite roll? What's your go-to roll?
Sushi. I'm salmon. I said sushi.
My salmon roll, spicy salmon roll is my joint, yo.
I don't know. I like lobster tempura.
I like the spider rolls with all the tentacles and stuff hanging out.
Let me tell you,
spider rolls are good too.
I tried this roll the other day. Hold on, I can tell you, I adored
Dragon rolls. Dragon rolls are definitely really good.
Let me tell y'all what I just DoorDash just when I tried it for the first time and it was really good. Was it a dragon roll? Hold on. How do you tell your orders on? Oh, here we go. I got this thing called.
Like, I know we didn't talk about Clowney that much.
Ocean roll.
An ocean roll. Ooh, that sounds good.
The ocean roll was really, really good. Let me see if I can tell you exactly what it is.
I just want to know that I'm not the only person that mentioned Clowney's name tonight. So, on that note, my final thoughts. I'm out this mother sucker, yo. It's been real. Clowney for president. I'm out.
Can you imagine that, though? Can you imagine those two on the same team if you could get – oh, man.
Clowney wouldn't do shit.
Never hit that.
I don't know, man.
I was waiting for somebody to just shut it down.
You got Givens and Kinlaw on the inside.
Well, Mike, you don't like avocado, right?
I don't dislike it.
That's in the California rolls, though, right?
It doesn't.
Well, it's in the dragon roll too.
It's in about every roll.
Inside.
It's not in the salmon roll. There's no avocado.
No, it's not in the salmon roll. That's just rice, salmon, and
or in the spicy tuna rolls.
Avocado is just a filler. It tastes like it. Avocado is like a mushy broccoli. It tastes like whatever you cook it like. It doesn't have any original taste.
A mushy broccoli.
No original taste to it.
Because you can make broccoli.
You got to add salt to avocado. You're right.
What I'm saying
it's very
is like
bland. It's a bland.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's very bland. Yes.
So it's however you see you do broccoli in like a butter garlic sauce. That's exactly what that broccoli tastes like. You do broccoli in like I've had people put barbecue sauce on broccoli. I was like, what is this? Hey, don't knock it till you try it, bro. Broccoli tastes like however you prepare it. Avocado is the same thing except it's mushy. And so
it's kind of like a sauce, or it's like an added thing to a type of flavor to give certain texture or whatever you want, like that. Like One's on the side of Mike. What?
I was going, yo. I love y'all, man. It's been real. I'm out.
All right, Wayne. Thanks for jumping in, man. I appreciate Breezy for doing that. I don't really have roles. I got a solid like dad bod right now going on. Like I got a solid, but it's not officially a role anywhere. So which is weird because I've put on some weight, but I don't get the rolls. I don't know. It's weird.
You put on so much weight it stretched out your rolls?
Yeah, man. Ironed out the wrinkles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I put on like 6 pounds.
You put on 6 pounds, you said? It's all in the beard. Nick came back with a freaking beard, bro.
I know. I'm letting it go, too. I'm going to duck dynasty shit.
That's why he was gone. He had to come back 3 months later.
I want to tell you ocean roll because it's very rare that I read something and then be like, oh, I got to try that. But that shit happened. So an ocean roll is not – oh, here it is. Shrimp tempura with lobster salad and some kind of chef sauce. So shrimp and lobster inside the roll. Really good. It was really, really good.
It looks good. It looks good.
Oh, and speaking of Valentine's Day, I don't do anything for Valentine's Day for my wife. We usually do something for the kids. Honestly, I think if I got something for my wife on Valentine's Day, she would think I was having an affair. She'd be like, what is this? Leftover gifts from your other hoes?
What you do, Michael?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, it's like I couldn't bring my wife home anything for Valentine's Day. You get her flowers, they die. I think the next time I do, like if she goes to work, I'll send her some flowers to work and the card would read to let everybody else know that I'm still here. It's not for her. It's just to let everybody else know. Yeah, you still married. Like we still doing this thing. So
I also do something for my mom every Valentine's Day. Flowers or whatever.
My mom probably hates me. I've never done it.
Nah, I'll get her a card and some flowers or whatever.
That's really nice. That's good.
Just a little bit.
I didn't know that was a thing. Now I feel bad.
Yes, it's a thing. You're supposed to get your women in your life on Valentine's Day. Obviously, it's Hallmark.
My mom ain't in my life. She's in a whole other state.
Bitch, she's in your life. Get the hell out of here.
Damn.
So but you're supposed to. I mean, whether it's a wife, a girlfriend, your mother, like you're supposed to get your mother some flowers and.
So do you get stuff for your sisters?
No.
Oh, well.
No, that's different. That's different.
Women in your life.
But your mom is your first love. Like your first.
Hey, yo, Mark, you gonna see these hands when we meet up, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, you're supposed to definitely supposed to do that shit. But man, it was great to be back tonight. I'm happy to.
Yeah, it was awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Pour some spark back. You know what I'm saying? Nick couldn't wait to throw me under the bus. I forget what it was he threw me under the bus. Oh, eating crow with Jason Verrett. That's what you got me with.
Yeah, but it wasn't trying to throw you under the bus. It was basically saying that it was good for the team. That, there were guys where we say weren't going to help, right? Like, look at Kerry Hyder this year. Like, we weren't sure what Kerry Hyder was going to do. Like, oh,
absolutely.
And this guy had a hell of a season, right? So, but yeah, so that's pretty much, what I was trying to say is like, at first you're like, if he can't be healthy, cut him. I was with you on that stuff. But I also went to bat for him and said, look, he's got the talent if healthy. Like he can he was a Pro Bowl corner. If we can only see him healthy, I think that really, really helps. And we saw it, and we saw the difference in what it was. So, but it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Well, it's good to have you back in here. Brian, man, any final thoughts for you, man?
Nope, just looking forward to getting this season going. That's it. I'm ready for the free agency to start so that when we do see things from the media, they tend to be more actual instead of smoke.
Okay. Yeah, man, we get to stop whispering about rumors and start reporting on what's actually happening. I'm looking forward to it too. But guys, we have to strap in. This is going to be a very, very long off season. I promise. Nothing But Niners will be here every step of the way. So make sure you guys are locked in, you're subscribed, your notifications are turned on, and make sure you guys tell other people where to find it. So that way, or I understand why people don't. It's like, I watch Nothing But Niners. Kind of like, I got the inside information. So I get it why you guys don't want to tell people. But you got to help us out, okay? You got to tell people to come over here and check us out. And I promise you that we appreciate you all for doing that. Nick, man, glad to see you back. Brian, thanks for rocking out. Breezy jumped in tonight. I appreciate everybody for doing that, man. It is good to have the guys back in here. Now we got to try to get all 5 of us on. I don't even remember what the layout looks like with 5 people. I don't know.
It's 2 and 3, I think.
No, it's 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 1 in the middle.
Underneath everybody else?
In the middle of everybody.
Oh, so it's 2, middle 2?
Yep.
Like on a dice?
Yeah.
No
like
way.
a 5. Yeah.
That's how.
So then you're gonna cover up part of everybody else's screens.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. I want to see that. All right. Well, yeah. But yeah, so we got to get that going on the next show, man. We will be back very soon. The rumors are going to continue to fly, and we're going to continue to discuss them. Thank you all out there for rocking out with us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or even on Twitch. The Twitch community is growing every single day. So shout out to you guys as well. And that's going to do it for us here tonight, guys. We want to make sure that you guys know where to be. And by the way, with the obligatory post, just one more time tonight. There he is, man. Damn, that looks good. Damn, that looks good. All right, real quick. Nick, we haven't heard from you. What would you give up for Deshaun Watson? Just real quick.
Oh, I'd give up whatever they asked for.
Oh, shit. That's loaded. We will be back to talk about that because that is very, very loaded. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Let me see if I can point us out. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out of here.